Hey, what's up, Kraken fans? Welcome to the live stream tonight. Rangers versus Kraken, a live post-game rapid reaction for you guys. Game number 6 of the season. Didn't go the way we wanted to. I gotta turn this down over here, sorry. Yeah, my name's Mike, Sasquatch NHL. Great to have you guys along for the show tonight, bringing you another live recap and reaction here tonight. We're joined by a couple of special friends. We got Rick Judd and our buddy Ty here in the chat. Let's bring them in right now. Probably going to be the best part of this live stream is having friends along, guys. How you doing tonight? Rick, what's up?
Okay, good. Having friends along, that's a good intro. That's part of the post game. That's a bit much, but friends, great.
Yeah, we're feeling a little bit down before we started streaming here. We're kind of commiserating, but we'll get through this together. Ty, how you feeling tonight? I love the lights, love the setup. What's going on through your brain?
It looks pretty here, but not so much in CPA tonight. So, yeah, back to 1 goal, huh?
Yeah, and we needed about 7 again tonight, probably to beat those Rangers. A little bit of a disappointing result. So, guys, thanks again for being here, viewers, tonight live or replay tomorrow. I don't know if you're going to want to watch the replay of this recap, but we're going to do it anyways because that's what we do here on the channel. So thanks, guys, for being here. Let's get into it a little bit. We're going to recap, going to break things down. We don't have a poll tonight because I didn't have anything creative to ask you guys. I'm just feeling a little bit dejected, and I'm usually pretty positive. So maybe Rick, Ty, can you guys raise my spirits just a little bit? What can we say that's positive here? I don't like the takeaways that are positive too often, but I need it tonight. So Rick, you go first.
I think a big thing is we see another new scorer on the season, especially after yesterday where Thursday, 7 different people scored. Last year's calling card and the real success to last season's Kraken was depth and having an abundance of scoring from different people. So having Schultz be a new scorer this season, I think is definitely big, and seeing that goal predominantly be built up by the defense is a positive. In itself, I guess. We can go into that a little bit more when we go over them, but you'd like to see more forward involvement in general, and you'd like to see some crooked numbers on the scoreboard in our favor, but to see that third pairing come through with a goal, I think is the big positive and takeaway in this game.
Right, and maybe just kind of the response a little too late tonight, Ty, if you want to comment on that. Yeah, well, just, the crabbiness, the crankiness. Yeah, it wasn't much of a response, but it just feels like it comes a little bit too late in games like this.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like this is where you miss Brandon Tanev, right? Like he's kind of your energy guy to go out there and just kind of slam somebody in the boards, punch him in the face, trip him up a little bit, get the boys fired up, right? So I think these are kind of games where we really miss players like him, and it kind of fell to Gordo. He got a little spicy there in the third, and then Canner tried to stand up. So, I mean, we got some big guys. Like, where's Rig? Why isn't Rig punching someone in the face?
Yeah, I don't know. And he's a little soft in coverage there as the puck was floating around. We'll talk about it during the breakdown, but and I don't want to be too critical of Big Rig because he has been, pretty good so far to start the season. But there was a couple moments tonight where I'm like, what's going on? But the whole team tonight, just not great. New York Rangers, good team. So let's not take anything away from what they did, right? Let's get into the game day setup just a little bit here, you guys. Tonight's episode, we're going to go through the story of what happened, going to set up the game and the teams just a little bit, look at the roster, 3 stars, probably mostly going to be Rangers tonight. And Rick, great news. Ty is bad luck, but with you on the stream tonight, we've got the Squatch Scribbler dialed in, making its debut. I'm not going to use it a whole lot, but I want to try it real fast. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Let's see if it works. Let's
go to the Panarin second goal there.
Oh, hold on a minute.
Oh boy.
Let's hold just
looking
a second.
like Enzo here, just drawing random stuff.
We're just gonna mute this guy over here, and there we go. And we're gonna listen to this guy here for a little bit. And we don't want to talk so much about this record over here, and the Rangers won tonight. So yeah, okay. So there's a little test. It's actually working. We're gonna keep working on that throughout the season. But that's the debut of the Squatch Scribbler. Rick, that's credit to you. Your good luck tonight. Okay, so let's get into the game. Yeah. Let's get into the game day setup just a little bit. Of course, we're going to live chat with you guys, take a few comments as we go here. We do have Josh in the comments says, what an embarrassing game for Seattle at CPA. Where's the aggressiveness and hunger? Where's our goal scorers? Where's our team from last season? Rick, if you want to kind of comment on that. How are you feeling about this?
Oh, I think that's a perfectly valid point to make. I think as soon as this game started to get out of hand, I think you saw the team really take in that they are only dressing or only rostering 22 guys. You're missing Tanev is now on the IR, but you've been really only dressing 21. And then you lose Burakovsky during the game. You're running really low on healthy skaters. And I think by about halfway through the second of this game, I think that just hit this team that, like, this is one we probably just need to let finish and recover. Like, hopefully Devin Shore will be able to get some minutes now that he's had some practices and he's been out on warm-ups before the game to kind of get in sync with everyone. But we're going to need that. We're probably going to need another forward to come up, if that's in the form of John Hayden or somebody else. But extra bodies and people that can stay on the ice is just going to be huge. But I think this game is one of those where they're going to look back and just say, like, morale was off the entire time, whether that was it started out weird with the lights and whatnot or whatever. I think they just never could get out of the rut, and the morale stayed really low.
Yeah, it was definitely a weird one throughout the evening. We're going to talk about this during the breakdown as well. We've got Spartan here, says, what happened with the Yanni situation? Why did he get like 12 minutes of penalty? So I think Yanni took a 10-minute misconduct,
double minor, right? Yeah, and then 10-minute game misconduct. Yep.
Yeah, and he was not happy with that. So yeah, that's kind of the way it goes. I think it was kind of.
I would guess the game misconduct came from him interacting with the bench, which is very strange that the bench didn't get penalized for that in return.
Right.
The double minors makes sense, even though it came all from him defending himself more or less. But that was just a very weird situation that wasn't ever really clarified. And as Edzo said on the broadcast, like, they tried to, and it's like, but you're also the officiating crew. You got to do more than just kind of try.
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt like, I mean, at that point, it was just kind of, there wasn't much of a chance for Seattle to get back in it, but I feel like they could have managed the way they called the penalties there a little bit better. But that's the way it goes. Stratic says, for the Kraken, that was depressing. And yeah, I mean, that just encapsulates the whole feeling of the night, unfortunately. But guys, we're going to get through this. Okay, so Ty, Rick, I wanted to kind of recap my three things that I'm kind of thinking about here as we start the season. I'll go quick, and then we're going to talk about the roster. The first one was don't judge the power play for at least 2 weeks. So we're getting close to that 2 weeks. We had a little bit of signs of life. Not much going on tonight, but we're gonna see what happens. Burakovsky looks like he might be out now. I don't know. It looks like his shoulder, something upper body,
collarbone or something like that.
Yeah, so that could be disastrous for Seattle early in the season. Number 2 was try to remain calm. We're going to expect to see some sloppiness and an inconsistency, but I don't think we were really ready for this in our third season. Regression is number 3 offensively, especially Rick. I know you guys had talked about this in the summer and leading into the season. I don't know how are you feeling about where we're at offensively right now?
It's very interesting because we had a lot of reason to really ride the momentum from making Stanley Cup playoffs, bouncing Colorado in the first round, because really all we did was change the fourth line, a wholesale fourth line change. But the top 3 lines aren't really doing much, and they've already gone in and started to tinker with it already.
Right.
Going against your strategy or your point of not necessarily overreacting right away, but I'm liking what I'm seeing from this version of the fourth line, but I think I can see through these first 5-6 games that they're probably not going to be as score sheet and point heavy as the last fourth line was last year, but I think they're going to be effective. But what that means is if you're not going to get your bottom 6 participation in scoring, the top 6 need to come through and come up. and we haven't seen that yet, really much so
not
far.
yet.
We've seen an assist here and there and 1 or 2 points. I mean, Canner has 2 goals for us so far this season, but he's only one guy. We need there's 6 of them in those top 2 lines that all need to work together, and I think it's taking a little longer than any of us like for that to really click with how well last season went. And even going to game 7 of round 2, like, you had a lot of reason to just expect we were going to hit the ground running, and it hasn't been that way. So, and it's actually been a pretty, even franchise like history wise, a pretty bad slow start. Like, it took us the longest into a season to get a win than it has ever. So it's this might be a very interesting fall, October, November. So it'll be interesting.
Maybe heading out on the road will be, good. They can galvanize together, try to figure things out, get things going a little bit less pressure on the road. You're not playing in front of your hometown fans. Donnell, what's up? Good to see you. Says, what's up, sir? How you doing? How's things? Things are going good here. I wish we were a little bit better in the standings column, but we're just not there yet with the Kraken. Ty, going to hand off to you here in just a second. Let's just kind of get through the setup again a little bit. The Rangers, 47-22-13 last year. And this was a team that probably, could have made a run at the Stanley Cup, right? But they kind of whiffed. First round loss to the New Jersey Devils.
Blew my bracket up.
Right? Everybody's. And it kind of shows you how hard it is to win in the playoffs in the NHL, even with a stacked roster, great goaltender. Kraken, on the other hand, right? A bit of a shaky start. We've talked about this. We're going to continue to talk about it. They had that explosion of 7 goals against Carolina on Thursday. Joey Decord looked good. Grubauer came in net. There was a lot of kind of confusion pregame who was going to be in net, but the Kraken penalty kill has been pretty good. I don't know. Special teams, not so great on the power play, but great on the penalty kill. Ty, what are your thoughts on the special teams as far as being shorthanded?
I mean, so shorthanded PK has been pretty solid. I see them building the house, defending like they should be. Maybe not as aggressive as we've seen, previous seasons and things like that, like the power kill, right? But everything's been super consistent. I don't really have too much feedback on the power play. Just keep doing what you're doing. I mean, or sorry, the PK, keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, it's been.
What do you really say there? Like, there's nothing.
Yeah, just let it ride.
They've been pretty stellar. Like,
add to cart, buy now. Yeah, keep it.
Yes, definitely. Stratic says, I have so little to say. This was brutal. John Hayden would have been useful tonight.
Absolutely. I was going to bring him up.
Yeah. Why was Canner fighting? There are 15 guys who should be fighting before he should. And that's kind of what I was saying. Like, get after it before that. Somebody step up. But it just didn't happen. Eganator says, hi. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
That fight was pretty apparent of who throws and who doesn't also.
Yeah.
So he was able to get a couple shots in and not just get totally rocked, but he was getting nervous. Every one of those that it's a hit and his hair goes flying, you're like, oh God, please don't.
Yeah.
Just be like a hit. Don't be anything worse. Don't pull a John Hayden and try too hard and pull something. Don't get like a cut or bruise or need stitches, have to leave.
Yeah.
Like, there's a reason why people stand up for their team's star scorers and their star players.
Yeah.
Don't want to lose them to anything.
When that bucket comes off, I start worrying about that noodle bouncing off the ice, and that's a big time, especially for someone that has kind of concussion history going on here. And then obviously protecting those hands, right? You need to have those hands to do all that gross stuff with the twig. So
for sure. Eganator says
like
hi.
Also.
What's up, Eganator? Thanks for being on the stream tonight. Let us know your thoughts in the chat. How did you feel? I know we're all disappointed a little bit, but I want to hear the Eganator thoughts. You always have some good insights, so put them on the chat. I'll put them up on the screen. Stratic also says, maybe Burakovsky was holding the team back, and now everything will be like the playoffs level play from last season. Yeah, I don't know.
Hot take.
I think I know. I can see the sarcasm there. I get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're definitely a better team.
Not a very sarcastic guy, though.
Oh, yes, he is. Yes,
me either.
He is.
I will say though, there might be not quite to that level of like he's the one holding us back.
No.
I was at the game on Thursday and on Tuesday.
Oof.
And there were times where like he's looking behind his shoulder to find the puck, or he had a lot of a lot of really poor puck handling and like unable to maintain a possession.
Yep.
That just shows he hasn't been playing in game style hockey since March. So I think early on this season, where he is one of my key players anytime he's on the ice, because he just makes everyone else around him better. But when he's not able to really play well or to his style, it is brutally obvious that he's not clicking. And I don't think he, other than the 2 assists he had Thursday, I don't think he had really a game where he's really clicked and played Burakovsky style hockey, which isn't helping when you kind of go through offensive lows, when your big star player who you expect to see a lot of that in, and your playmaking ability isn't hitting.
That's a really good point.
And Ty and I were also.
We were kind of chatting about this, through text message the other day, and Ty was maybe being a little too hard on Berkey, but it does, like Rick just said, it really stands out when Burakovsky is not at his, his optimum level, and you can tell he's just not there. And now, potentially dealing with a new injury. We'll see. I don't know, Ty, if you want to illuminate your thoughts on that a little bit. But
yeah, I'm not going to hammer on Berkey too much. But yeah, I 100% agree with Rick. There's a handful of times where you just saw him maybe not there completely, searching for the puck, missing passes. And it just transfers into all the special teams issues we've been having. I'm not saying that the PP is all because of Berkey. Don't get me wrong, but he is the one that we're kind of leaning on to bring the puck into the zone. That's always been an issue for us. So we definitely need him clicking and not clicking into the end boards like that. So we'll see upper body industry probably there. I'm guessing something shoulder.
I'm worried about it. I'm hoping it's not a collarbone thing. Maybe just a shoulder thing. But I don't know. Eganator says, I didn't have access to the game. So that's what we're here for.
Man.
We're gonna recap it through words and maybe some poorly drawn pictures. I don't know. We'll see about that. But Spartan says, I'll just say I miss Tanev. I think we all do. He adds that little bit of energy down there on the bottom six, depending on where they slot him in. But we all miss Turbo. Hopefully he's going to get better, have a full recovery, and contribute when he gets back. But guys, the best thing I can say was that this was fantastically frustrating tonight. We had a little bit of a haunted arena. I don't know if you guys saw the pictures that were posted over on Twitter, but a lot of great costumes tonight, so that was kind of cool.
They're talking about something else.
Well, depending on your algorithm, it depends, maybe you get some different pictures that pop up. But let's get into the breakdown tonight. I want to hear from you guys in the chat. Who are your 3 stars? I don't know how to say this.
Just to be clear, I was talking about the lights, the dark corner. Yeah, that's what I was referring to.
I don't know
Nothing
how to
do with my
name.
Twitter algorithm.
Should I say Crash ZZ? That was the weirdest game of hockey I've ever seen. Yeah, it is cool. I just don't know how to say it. So we'll say Crash. It was like a weird one
or something. I don't know.
It was really odd, and the whole thing started odd. But let's get into the breakdown, you guys, right now. Let's do this. Give you the recap. Give you my take, Rick and Ty. Rick, we're gonna have you describe the goals a little bit here. You're on deck up front, and then we'll see where we go from here.
Yeah,
right away.
I alluded earlier, but you do like seeing productivity from your blue line, particularly that bottom pairing of Schultz and Dumoulin. All summer after free agency, like the wave comes and you see that Dumoulin is who you're signing to replace Soucy. It became immediately, what are the pairings going to be? You're not touching that top pairing at all for any reason whatsoever. And it was, all right, who gets third line? Are you switching up? Who gets paired? What's working? They made the right call with keeping Alexiak and Borgen as the second pairing, which then creates Schultz and Dumoulin as your third, who neither of which are very fast. They both have a lot of experience built up in the league, which is very nice to have. But to see them get involved offensively and to actually put really nice D-to-D passing together to create that scoring a chance for Schultz. I think what the best thing I saw on that I don't think the Kraken do enough is as that puck comes across the ice and the goalie's following, the tendency is so often just to shoot near post because that's where momentum is going. That's where you're naturally going to shoot towards. But Schultz's goal was towards the far post, going back across the ice, and it just caught the goal. It caught Jonathan Quick just going the other way, and it's tough to battle that, which then makes it more interesting later on in the games when you see all of our shots in the same way, still going near post and none of them get past. And when you see acreage of goal on the far end, and it's like, just follow Schultz's play. But so it was really nice to see that build up, and it gave you some hope that there was going to be some bleed over from Thursday. Where
just that momentum, right?
Yes. But unfortunately, you cannot leave Artemi Panarin open with tons and tons of space. And it was
for like 10 seconds.
Yeah, I think it was that first goal. But Edzo on the broadcast made a great point where there was a solid formation of defense in the zone at the time, because New York already had the puck deep in the zone. But it was a catalyst moment of Beniers kind of moving around, taking a turn, and just left the center of the ice wide open. And there was no one anywhere near shooter there. And that's what you can't give somebody with that pedigree of a shooter any time at all, let alone that much space, because they're going to beat you every time.
And that was the Rangers taking advantage of like the dimly lit end of the ice at that point, right? So
I think
they
that was
tie it
the
up.
first shot they took from that end of the ice too. Like, it was very proactive of taking advantage of the weird and odd situation of changing up.
That was about 7:45 left in the first, and Cheadle and Panarin really kind of taking over this game early, and they continued to do their thing throughout. I feel like there was kind of a lot of neutral zone play there as the period wound down. Grew did have a really nice save there at the end of the first frame. Rangers were cycling in the Kraken zone. Yamamoto had a good block on the rebound there from Grubauer, but Tolvey also a big chance late. Ty, when is Tolvey going to get that tally? It hasn't happened yet.
Where's Golvanin? Golvanin's coming. Yeah, I don't know. He just kind of put it right into the mid there. I don't know.
Frustrating.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep saying frustrating. I think that's just the theme.
Frustrating.
Overall tonight.
Change that as your title.
Right.
Rangers vs. Kraken.
Frustrating
post-game
loss.
Reaction.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's the headlines on NHL.com. Okay, so we go second period here. But Rick, I agree. I liked that movement from Dumoulin. Kind of the side to side, the pass over to Schultze, and man, he wired that shot
that
too.
Panarin goal too is kind of something that bit us kind of in the rear end a couple times last year. You watch both D-men kind of attack along the boards, and unfortunately, when he saw both D-men, Matty came over and kind of helped try to support them, which left Panarin all by himself off in La La Land. If you watch it though, Yamamoto is really, really good at doing a similar kind of setup of sneaking kind of behind the defense and kind of getting lost in it. So, I mean, there's definitely some positives to see from that style of play. But yeah, we can't have both the men go down into the corner there doing that battle and then have our center go chasing them also. We're just stacking the corner way too much, and then bang, bang, done. Game over. Well, not really, literally game over, but
not quite. But I mean, it started to feel like that more and more as we go. We go to the second period, a little bit less intense to start the second. Shots basically even. Both teams trying to kind of find their footing possession-wise. 14:07 left. Kraken on the rush, 2-on-1, a good chance. But right after that, Trouba, this is where Burakovsky, that injury happens. Rick, if you want to kind of talk about this a little bit, we talked about it in the lead-up, but Berkey goes to the locker room. Kind of a dirty hit by Trouba, right?
Yeah, the broadcast made a point almost every time it was brought up to highlight and emphasize the fact that it was late, puck was gone, and obviously the hit didn't directly go into the boards, but it was the hit that caused him to go down, and then he slides into the board. So it's tough to see that, especially when, I mean, it did get called, so at least you have that. But
boarding.
Yeah,
you don't see that very often.
No, but when you lose your star player from a hit like that, it just gets super frustrating. That leads into further frustration throughout the rest of the game, but that moment, and then knowing that you're going down a forward, really impacted the way, like, offensive strategy. You've got somebody now playing extra minutes, playing with lines that they don't normally play with, that all of a sudden that chemistry is shot and you're having to relearn who you're skating with in the moment. And you can't really set up what you've been working at practice during line rushes and things like that. So I think that was definitely a catalyst moment for the way that this game ended up turning out.
Just kind of throws everything
and the
off.
bathroom break goes
completely
out the window.
we go to the power play there.
Oh yeah, power play.
Nothing really. Ty calls it a bathroom break, but nothing really materializes. They do get a 5-on-3 briefly there for 20 seconds. Get a good look, but no shot on net there. So they go to the 5-on-4. Unfortunately, can't find anything on the man advantage. Moments later, 10:05 left in the second. Yanni Gourde, now guilty, gets up into the hands. I think that was hooking. There wasn't a whole lot there, but so Rangers get a power play. Up in the hands. They're going to call it usually, right?
Time. Yep.
Rangers working in the Kraken in late on the power play. I think 30 seconds left there on the man advantage. And Hestin, again, a big blast from the circle, but Grew comes up big. Another big save, keeping it 1-1. Kraken kill that penalty. So as bad as things have gone leading up to this point, we're still tied. We do that. We switch ends, right? 7 minutes left. And when you know it, the Rangers right out of the face-off, and they win the face-off. The puck gets up to the top of the point, moved across. Rick, this one leaks through Grew, and Kako, if I'm saying that right, pokes it in, right?
Yeah, the standout there is the same thing that really hurt and what caused round one of the Stanley Cup last year to go to 7 games was giving up goals on faceoffs. You lose the faceoff in your own zone, and then the first shot is what hurts you the most. But the thing that was hardest there was that Kako is free to do whatever he wants behind Grubauer because the defender was looking at the goal. Like he was facing it rather than being in a better position where he's in front of the goal, facing his defender. He was chasing, which led to that much space and that ability to just slide right in. The puck's Grubauer's not totally sure where it is because he felt it go past him, but he's not going to be able to just poke it out. Somebody's got to be there, and you hope it's your own guy. But I think that was Dumoulin.
It was Dumoulin, yeah.
Jason.
As a goaltender, when you have one squeak by you kind of leaking like that, you can't flop around. You can't do anything because you knock it in. So it's
so you're hoping
defender.
Your guys are back there. Our guys weren't. They were chasing, and it's one of those. It's someone's going to touch the puck, and you just hope it's your own, so it goes the other direction. But that's a prize goal for Kako there.
Kind of a bummer. So we're late in the second period now. Schwartz now exits the game. Berkey was ruled out officially. The PR put that out. So Kraken missing a couple of key forwards. Rick alluded to this, and that just kind of throws everything off, throws your lines off. Rangers really putting their foot on the gas pedal now. I feel like they kind of sensed that the Kraken were trying to find their game a little bit. Things were disjointed. The whole evening was just a little bit bizarre. We go 2:01 left in the second period, and they're churning in the Kraken zone, and you can kind of feel it. Kraken again turn it over behind their net. Puck handed off by Lafreniere to Hestin again. Hestin, patient, gives it back to Lafreniere. Nice little give and go play, kind of a low cycle. And Ty, if you want to kind of describe this one, Lafreniere sneaks it by Grew. It's 3-1, and that's a killer, right? Late in the third or late in the second.
I mean, you pretty much covered it. Just beats him, straight beats him. Like it's again the thing to highlight here: turnover, right? I think it was Schultz that got the turnover there. Either that or that was the third one. I don't know. They're all kind of mixed together when you're sad. But yeah, I mean, ultimately it was off a turnover, a good cycle play, kind of on the outside, and then I think he beats him glove side, or maybe it was stick side. I don't remember this goal specifically.
I think it was glove side.
I think it was glove side also.
Being the replay where Edzo was trying to draw up like how the
it was glove side
was working. It looked glove side, which
was short side too.
It sounds like we all, in a really healthy way, compartmentalized this goal and forgot about it. So good job, all of us. Let's move on to the third period. I'm happy.
Well, before Mike made a point that I think this is one of those points where New York knew this was their game. Like the way it's like when a soccer team knows they're better and they just play their give and go forever, and it just makes the opponent chase in circles, and there's nothing they can do about it. That is what that buildup and that cycling on those passing made it look like they had the Kraken for lunch, and we're just like, we're going to do whatever we want. I want you to get dizzy from spinning around because we're just going to give and go, pass, and I don't think there was anything we would have been able to do to keep that goal from going in. Like, that was just a moment that was built up for the Rangers, and it was kind of it was early, and it was still only at that time a 2-goal lead, but I think that goal was the nail in the coffin, I think.
Yeah, that was a big dagger. Super crafty. You could just kind of see the skill out there on that.
I think too, like, kind of he mentioned you probably remember this, Mike, also from being on the ice, when you get that team kind of thrown off on the other end, man, you get the boys all hyped, everybody's thriving off it. There's blood in the water, you're just like clicking.
And you kind of loosen up in those situations, right?
It's on, like, let's go.
Yeah, you just kind of like, you relax. The game becomes a little bit easier. You're not chasing it, and things just tend to work out a little bit better. You saw the Kraken do that against Carolina the other night, but tonight they did not do that. Third period, we'll talk about it real quick, but we're trying to get something positive going. A lot of craziness at the end, a little chaos, boys getting cranky. Jonathan Quick had a couple of nice saves. Panarin, he gets another goal. He was great all night. I'm not going to be surprised to see Panarin and Hedl up at the top of the 3 stars. We're going to talk about that here in a couple minutes, guys. But yeah, I don't know if you have any thoughts on the way the refs handled everything with Yanni Gourde there at the bench. Rick, how did you feel about that? I wasn't too thrilled with it, but
neither was I. Being that I do get the fun opportunity to be up in like Press Bridge media area at some games, you get notified of like a special notification on top of the PA announcement of everything. Like, they give us a special announcement for anything. So I have gotten used to being very clear on what was called, what was happening, certain announcements being happening. And so for the refs to not really appear to have a full grasp on what was happening, I think is the most frustrating part there. Like, we had started, but I had mentioned, like, I get the double minors to Gourde. I get the game misconduct. I guess, sure, it's interacting with the bench, but not having a similar misconduct or anything go against the New York bench because they initiated it. 2 of them initiated.
They punched him in the face.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was there were hands. So it felt like there was not enough issued out. And then they didn't clarify. They didn't announce. They, like Edzo had said on the broadcast, like they had tried.
Yeah, he was like double minor 37th Seattle.
Yeah. Graham was one of the referees tonight, and I know that there's a huge Graham following on Twitter, and I know he was announcing it. I think he was the one at the penalty boxes trying to still figure out, and he was the one talking to captains, kind of relaying what was happening. So I don't blame him for this, but I think it's part of your duty as an official to make calls and to clarify what's happening, and whether they announced that and told that to the team, sure, but all of us are in the dark, and then you get to hear the chants from the crowd about how they feel.
I think Hack agreed also, if you can read his face a little bit when he got the message.
But you create that environment for yourself when you don't have a full grasp on the situation, or you don't clearly relay the information that is going to avoid having 17,000 people screaming you.
Yep.
Crash 22 says the refs tonight made NFL refs look good. So a little bit of a
That's why I
there.
laughed in the middle of you talking, Rick. I saw that pop up.
Did you guys notice too, when they first told Hackstall that they were going to alternate ends at 10 minutes, the refs skated over to each bench, and when they got to Hackstall, they told him, and he just kind of went,
"What?
Why?" Like, that's stupid.
Yeah.
But anyway. Okay, let's look at the stats. We've lost the game. That's just how it went tonight. We're going to break it down just a little bit here, and thank you, everybody, for being in the chat. Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Ty, for joining the stream tonight. It's great to have you guys and keep this going. maybe we can find some better luck on the road, but let's look at the game stats tonight. Shots on goal, just not enough. 19. We've talked about this, Rick, leading up to this day. We're not getting enough shots on goal. I think Carolina was the exception, but that you need to be up towards 30. What was that?
It's only 10.
10 what?
10 shots on goal the whole game?
No, 19. I got 19 here.
Oh, it looks like 10. Because it was
better
at 10
be
for
more
a
than
long
10.
time.
It was sitting at 10 for a while.
Yeah, through the whole second period.
why.
Yeah, they ended up with 19.
The shots issue, Tuesday was the big one for me that I saw, where if we do take our shots, they're just so low quality that they don't mean anything. Like, I think that was the game where we had, if you add the blocked shots, like attempted shots, we were above 50, but maybe a handful of them were of any significance. And that's very much what tonight felt like, just without the quality or quantity of shots. They just, it almost felt like year one Kraken, where the whole entire offensive mentality was, we had this setup play that we want you to do in the zone, and don't take a shot till you get it. And they just kept trying to maneuver and open a lane, and they weren't taking really the shots that maybe you shoot low in the corner, knowing it's going to go off a blocker. That's a rebound opportunity if you've got Shorts near the net, if you've got Tolvanen near the net. And I don't think we're taking enough of those, and we're wanting to build up to a strong scoring opportunity. And I think when this team is clicking and it's working, that is fine, because we'll find a way to score. When we are not putting enough shots on goal or quality shots on goal, I don't like that offensive strategy, because it's taking away so many potential opportunities by not putting the puck on the net.
And I hate to pick on Winberg again, but I saw it 2 or 3 more times tonight. But, you know, the push into the zone, the pull up at the half wall, the turn, and the fire it across into the middle, and it ends up being a turnover back into the neutral zone. And I'm just send it low or send it to the net, cause a face-off, something. That move doesn't work.
Yeah, and it feels like we are trying to create that scoring opportunity.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem like anyone is ever in, like, front of the net, ready to get it.
I was going to say that when you were talking about earlier.
Every single time they push it out there, it just feels like there's no one there, and it's not clicking. And whether that's the assignment for the center to be there, or whoever's supposed to be there is either somewhere else, or they had a vision of something else building up, and it just dishes it out, gives it right to one of the defenders, and they all of a sudden are on a transition.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I think the handful of times we did see the puck actually get to the net, the Rangers were either able to clean it out and get it out real quick, or our guys sticks were tied up. Like, there was a handful of times, there was a handful of opportunities this game where the puck was there, Quick gave off a rebound, and puck just went away. They did a real good job of cleaning it up. So they are getting it there. There are sometimes bodies there. They're just not finishing or being able to find the puck.
Face-offs not too great tonight again. 22 out of 54. That's 41%. And that's an area we're trying to improve in. Not so great tonight. And you'd like to see that metric flip just a little bit more, or at least even.
And this was Belmar's first pretty poor showing from the face-off dot this season. Yeah. And I'm wondering if that, because there was mid-third where they were talking on the broadcast about how he wasn't going out on shifts.
Yep.
And they've made a pretty concentrated effort this season to not really play him any more than about 10, maybe 12 minutes max, which I'm not super upset at. He's effective enough that I'd like to see him more, but he's working in the doses we're using him in. But I'm curious if the fact that his faceoffs were not effective tonight, that led to him getting even less ice time than what he would normally see. Because usually he's our shining star from the dot so far, and has been up 60+% on his faceoffs and helping everybody else get better. But when he goes only 2 wins out of his 8, that means nobody else is really doing much. And I think all we really saw, Beniers took 22 faceoffs, and he was at 50. So other than that, it was either one-off guys who got put onto the dot after someone got booted, or everyone else was well below 50.
Rangers are typically a pretty good face-off team, correct me if I'm mistaken, but
yes,
so that's a tough matchup. Matty Beniers, he did a good, decent job in the circle. I would like to see some more layers to his game, maybe up that intensity just a little bit. But it is, the sophomore season. Sometimes that slump word comes into play, especially after winning Rookie of the Year. But I think Matty's going to break through here soon. It's just a matter of time, and hopefully on the road, maybe some magic, maybe some team dinners, something to get the guys going. But yeah, a little.
I mean, just look at the last game, right? He had 2 periods of just like, oops, bonehead moves over and over and over. And then all of a sudden the third, he clicks, gets that apple over, and Matty's back, right? So kind of a tenacious guy. He's working through stuff. I'm not too worried about it. Just let him go. I almost said let him cook, but I don't want to say that.
No, we don't talk about
let Matty cook
the stream unless it's Nicole giving us a soup recipe. We don't talk about letting people cook in Seattle, because that means they usually get traded to Denver. Okay. Shots by period. Rangers consistent 9-9-9. Kraken not so consistent 8-2 and then 9. So just not enough. We've talked about it. We don't got to pound it into the ground, guys. Let's look at the 3 stars and then kind of wrap things up, call it a night, and maybe we'll have some better luck on the road. Let's look at the 3 stars. If you guys wanted to provide them in the chat, you're too late, because it's time to look at those now.
That was going to be who I was pick in that order.
See, I might have gone Cheadle. That's a tough name. I might have gone Cheadle first just because he was so strong early, but Panarin was amazing tonight. 2 goals. And
it's hard to recognize him since he's cut his hair. I definitely did not recognize him.
Panarin, yeah,
on the broadcast. I was like, where is the Sean White mop of hair?
Yeah.
It's Will Harrison. Wait, no. Sorry. Hopefully, Will's a good sport.
But I definitely was going to pick Keandre Miller for a 3rd star, not just for the 2 assists he had, but he was disruptive in net front. There was at least 2 or 3 what could have been shots on goal that were disrupted because either stick was in the way or he had poked the puck out of its trajectory. That's what you want from your defender when you're facing a team like Seattle that can shoot from those just off crease and just off goal mouth areas. That's where we tend to find some of those. If it's not going to be a slot defender like Ripper, we're going to score low and close to the net. And when you can have a defender like Miller really be a disruption, it makes it very, very hard for the Kraken to be effective or successful. So he was going to be my 3rd star. So I'm glad that official score is agreed.
Don't they? Is it the press the ones that picks the 3 stars?
I think it's home. It's the home arena's scorekeeper, I believe.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's a member of either press or media, but it's somebody upstairs that gets to pick.
Designated, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say my assumption was, because I've heard it's the press that gets to choose the 3 stars. So I was like, Rick, are you just saying this because you get to vote on it all the time? No, but if that's not the case, I have
never been able to vote. It's always been my assumption that it was. I think it's either the score, the home arena's score, official scorekeeper, or the team's official press person.
But I'm not Bob Condor or somebody.
I just know it's not me. They don't come down to the journalist. I was gonna be like, hey, Rick, who do you think? It's
I was going to say, I'm going to start throwing paper airplanes up there to you guys and be like, here's Sasquatch NHL's 3 stars.
Straight up?
Yeah. I have to get, they have to curve around. I don't know if it's actually easier to get to the back of the press box or the front from that angle, but it would have to curve.
We could probably 22. Go all the way up to the top and then get them to go across.
Yeah. I'd probably get thrown out of the arena.
It's easier to go back behind it. It's trippy how close.
You could stop being stingy and drop us down some cookies and stuff too. I'm always hitting up Allison hey Allison, don't drop stuff, or maybe do drop stuff.
Because Russ 22 says, under the edge. Rest in peace, Russ. Sorry guys. All right, fellas. I think we're gonna wrap it up for the evening. I just wanted to say thanks again for being here, Rick. It's great to have you on the stream. I know. a lot of things going on with the Kraken family, things to look forward to. I don't know if you want to comment on that at all, but keep at it. I know you've got some new articles you've been writing, if you want to comment on that as well. But yeah, kind of some final thoughts here as we go into the end of the stream.
Yeah. Well, we are still here. If anybody has seen, I don't necessarily really want
Who's
to.
we?
A Kraken fandom. What used to be a brand and identification of the 32 crew. You won't see that anymore. But the established kind of group and community, we're still here. We're just in the midst of kind of figuring out what we are looking like. And I think in the current moment, just excited to be people who like hockey together. And that's kind of really what we're focusing on, and trying to identify what we want to be some of those pillars of how we are seen and known, and how we make our impact on the greater hockey community and Kraken hockey specifically. So we're still here. We'll still be taking pictures down at the living wall at the first intermission. You'll still see game recaps and coverage and articles over with Allison Ballard at Corsi. So the stat Corsi that kind of figures out how effective you are with how you shoot. But it's Corsi as in CORSEA. The little play there. The triple entendre, I guess you could say, because the double entendre on the stat and for but that's where you'll see most of our written content. And then you'll see familiar faces all throughout the arena. And I think whether or not we have an official title for what we call ourselves, we'll still be having a lot of the community events throughout the season that we have been running and doing the last couple of years. So we've been trying to maintain and figure out what it looks like. And I think we're just kind of in that period where there's still hockey. So we're just going to watch that for now and figure ourselves out.
No, that's great. I think that's a good way of putting it. Obviously, big ally here, good friends, great community, and just keep it going forward. Give everybody their respect and their due time, and just keep moving forward. Yep. I think, just personally, it's been a little bit kind of confusing, but I feel like we've got a great core group, great people, and so don't be shy. Come out, say hi to everybody during the games, and on x.com and wherever you're active socially on the internet. Just keep it going. It's been a lot of fun, even though we're not starting the way we wanted to this year. Ty, we got to get you up to a game. Are you going to fly in here soon?
I was thinking
you're going to fly a plane
tonight,
up here, and
I didn't come up tonight.
Yeah, you got to shed that tank commander title, right?
I mean, game 6 of round 2, I feel like tank commander went bye-bye, bro.
Yeah, that was
you
good.
were there time next to me. We had the time of the best game I've ever been to.
We exercised the demons that evening.
Yeah, that was amazing. But yeah, I mean, we kind of talked about this going into the season. This first month, the schedule is pretty brutal. I didn't really see it going this bad, where we're only getting 1 goal per game, minus obviously the last game. But yeah, I mean, we got a lot of stuff to figure out. The boys got to do some work, so we'll see what they do. And then I think another thing for tonight, like, I need to look at the lines, because the lines, there can't be any kind of consistency besides Dunn, Lars, and the defense, basically. The forward lines are just a jumbled mess. So,
and it's only going to get worse if injury's bad. If Schwartz has now left the ice 2 games
times
in a row. So is that something that hold them out for a few games? It's not going to be any substantial move, because they're clearly saving cap space, and that 23rd.
I got a perfect one. You mentioned him earlier, John Hayden. You put him on the 4th line and just let him smash people.
He's who I thought they were going to bring up with Tanev's injury, because he can put down the center and on the wing, and he spent time with the roster last season. But I also get why they picked Shore, just with a little bit more NHL level experience. But I would have to think Hayden is next up, because otherwise it's either that or Lind. And Lind hasn't really had much of a cup of coffee at the NHL level with the Kraken yet. He's done super well for Coachella Valley.
Definitely.
But I don't see him getting a call up over Hayden.
I think Linder did a couple games late first season, inaugural season, right?
Yep.
And then we didn't really see him. He did really well in Coachella. But I mean, just watching the game tonight, the lack of physicality, John Hayden is that physicality. Like I want to see him come up.
And he's on I think he's still on league minimum. Like he's not going to eat up a lot of the roster space that you're trying. Salary cap.
He cleared waivers, right? He already cleared waivers, so I think he's good.
I think so. I don't whether
when Drieger and all those guys went down. Yes. Was he part of that, right? Yeah. So you're good. So,
yeah, because the only people you really worry about that for are some of like Jacord, if that's ever going to be a move, and then some of your younger guys. But both Cartier and Shane Wright are waiver exempt, so I think we continue to see even more forward hurt. We could see Shane Wright racking up some airline miles and better get one of those travel and miles cards.
Yeah.
It's always interesting when you see young guys come up too, because sometimes that gives you that little spark. It's just like a trade, when you see a trade happen, maybe a spark. So we'll see what happens. Kraken gonna head out on the road, guys. I want to say thanks again for being here. Nothing but a pleasure as always. It's all mine.
Pick a game that doesn't suck.
Yes, I'm gonna try to like hedge here for the next one. Figure it out. Look at the odds. But we're gonna have you back, Rick. Gonna have you back, Ty. Love doing this, you guys. I'm gonna let you go for now. If you want to stick around in the Zoom room, just gonna wrap up. Look at the stands and the schedule ahead. But that's it for tonight, guys. Thanks again for being here. All right. Okay.
Awesome.
Okay, standings real quick here. Let me fix the graphic. Yeah, Ty's gonna try to screw me up in the background. He likes to talk. No. Vegas 6-0. I mean, I'm kind of envious of this result so far for them in the standings. Kraken, at least we're not in last place. I mean, there's some positive there, I guess. We are 1-4-1. Yeah, Vancouver, good surprising result for them so far. The Kings and Flames, about neck even there. Ty mentioned in the background if they would quit playing the Oilers. I'm going to agree with that. I should put them back on screen. Let's look at the schedule ahead here. We're going to head back to the road. Red Wings on Tuesday the 24th. That's 5:15 p.m. start time on the West Coast here. And then we see the Hurricanes again. So maybe we can get the road vibes going a little bit. Panthers on the 28th. Lightning on the 30th. And that's kind of the next few games here coming up. These are all good teams. Red Wings surging a little bit here to start the season. Carolina, they're a favorite in the East. Florida Panthers were just in the Stanley Cup. I don't know if you remember that. And the Tampa Bay Lightning. Oh my goodness, things don't get easier here at the beginning of the season. Guys, thanks again for being here. Just a reminder, if you don't subscribe to the podcast, check that out as well. And thank you for tuning in tonight. Hit that like button before you log out and keep up with me over on x.com. In the meantime, that's going to do it for tonight's show. We'll catch you again here on another stream real soon. Thanks again, Rick and Ty, for being on the stream. Have a great night, everybody. And hopefully the Kraken can get a win on the road on Tuesday. See you guys. Have a good one.